the Hadzabe, lions are neither prey nor symbols to be conquered. They are predators that sometimes force humans to make difficult choices. Today's story is not about feats or bravery. It is about limits, responsibility, and how a community faces danger in order to continue existing. For the Hadzabe people, lions are not on the list of animals regularly hunted. In fact, they do not consider lions as prey at all. Lions are apex predators, with wide territories, strong nocturnal activity, and the ability to pose direct danger to humans. Because of this, facing a lion only happens in very specific situations. Most of the time, the Hadzabe try to stay away from areas where lions are present. If fresh tracks are discovered, they may move camp, change their foraging routes, or increase nighttime vigilance. Lions are seen as part of the environment, and the first choice is always avoidance, not confrontation. However, there are moments when avoidance is no longer enough to ensure safety. When a lion comes too close to the camp, appears repeatedly within a short period, or poses a clear threat to people, the community is forced to consider other options. This is never an easy or quick decision. It usually forms after careful observation, discussion, and shared deliberation among members. What is important to emphasize is this: this is not a hunt in the usual sense. The goal is not to chase or to prove strength. The goal is to reduce risk, to make sure the threat is no longer too close to the community. In many cases, simply driving the lion away from the area is already considered enough. The decision to face a lion is always a collective one. No individual acts on their own, and no leader gives orders. Only when the community agrees that there is no safer alternative do they take the next step. And even then, caution remains the highest priority. In the Hadzabe worldview, lions are not enemies to be eliminated. They are part of an ecosystem that humans must learn to live alongside. For this reason, any action involving lions is limited, controlled, and carefully restrained. If conditions are not right, if the risk exceeds what can be accepted, they are willing to stop and look for another solution. This is just a small glimpse into the life of the Hadzabe. Subscribe to explore more. This part of the story is not about bravery or heroic feats. It is about how a small community, without modern technology, is forced to make difficult decisions to protect collective safety. And it is precisely this caution that most clearly reflects how the Hadzabe continue to exist alongside large predators within the same living landscape. When the Hadzabe people community reaches the decision to face a lion, the first thing established is not action, but limits. This is not a hunt in the usual sense, nor is it a proactive pursuit. The sole objective is to reduce risk to people, not to chase or control the animal.
कोई है यहाँ पे? कुछ है ना? हैं? ओहो, गया बैठ गया है वो ना? यहाँ था ना कोई कुछ? वो ऐसे ही छोटे छोटे गुफाओं में रहते हैं.
Those involved are always adult men with experience in reading tracks and understanding the behavior of large animals. Not everyone participates, and there is no arbitrary gathering of large numbers. Selection is based on the ability to remain calm, to stop at the right moment, and to clearly understand risk, rather than on physical strength. The approach in these situations is always highly cautious. The Hadzabe avoid moving at night and minimize direct confrontation.
Hunters are heading to the wild.
They prioritize observing from a distance, tracking movement patterns, and finding ways to ensure the lion is no longer too close to human living areas. In many cases, creating enough pressure for the animal to move away is already enough to achieve the goal. If you find the way the Hadzabe face lions admirable, subscribe.
Hadzabe songs are not just the song. Instead, there is a story behind.
This cautious approach is not only meant to reduce immediate danger, but also to protect the community's long-term ability to secure food. For the Hadzabe people, every decision involving lions is closely tied to a single question: will this disrupt the food supply? Losing a hunter, or being forced to abandon a familiar foraging area, can directly affect the entire camp's meals for a long time. That is why, once the threat has been pushed back and hunting activities can return to normal, the community quickly shifts its focus back to maintaining a stable food supply. Familiar prey continue to be hunted, and meals are shared evenly among everyone in the camp. Food is not concentrated in the hands of a small group, nor does it become a reward for those who face danger. Sharing meals in this way helps the community avoid dependence on high-risk situations. Rather than placing food resources in the hands of a few individuals, the Hadzabe maintain stability by distributing food evenly, eating enough for the present, and continuing their familiar hunting cycle. As a result, rare events such as encounters with lions do not disrupt the survival structure of the entire community. What remains afterward is not an individual mark, but the shared experience of the community. Signs to watch for, areas to avoid, moments that require heightened awareness, these are all remembered and passed on naturally through everyday life. If necessary, the camp can be moved to a safer location. Changing living space is seen as a practical solution, rather than staying in a place that carries ongoing risk. If you want to keep exploring how communities like the Hadzabe people live and adapt, don't forget to subscribe.
क्या ढूंढ रहे हैं पता नहीं। चुपचाप चलते जाते हैं इनके पीछे पीछे। वाले अलग जाते हैं क्योंकि इनको ज्यादा जल्दी जल्दी चलना नहीं होता है, जंगल के अंदर ज्यादा नहीं जाना होता है, तो ये जवान लड़कियों के साथ में यार जंगल से ये अभी सजावट की चीजें बना रही हैं, है ना, जो ये पहनते हैं ना ऐसा।
In the Hadzabe worldview, lions are not objects used to assert strength. They do not become a source of food or a symbol of honor. Once the threat is under control, the animal is no longer the focus of attention. Life returns to its familiar rhythm, hunting other prey, gathering food, sharing meals, and sustaining the community. What matters is that this entire process does not disrupt the community's food stability. No one is celebrated or elevated in status simply for having taken part. Food and survival decisions are never placed in the hands of a single individual. Facing lions is understood as a shared responsibility to protect the camp's ability to forage safely, rather than as a personal achievement.
See, the kids are all happy. Yes.
The story of the Hadzabe people facing lions is therefore not about bravery or victory. It is about how a community maintains a stable food supply, knowing when to avoid danger to prevent losing hunters, when action becomes necessary to protect foraging areas, and when to stop in order not to damage long-term ecological balance. In their world, humans do not stand above nature, nor do they seek to control it. They choose to live alongside it, accepting risk, but always trying to keep that risk as low as possible. Lions remain part of the ecosystem, and humans intervene only when the safety of the community is directly threatened.
Nice one, nice one.
It is this careful approach, unshowy, non-extreme, and refusing to turn danger into myth, that has allowed the Hadzabe to endure in a harsh environment for so long. And from this perspective, their story is not one of confrontation, but one about learning how to remain in the right place within nature. The story of the Hadzabe people is not about victory or strength. It is about how humans live within nature without trying to rise above it. In a world that grows louder and more consumption-driven each day, ways of living like this are slowly disappearing. If you want to keep exploring stories that are slow, honest, and rarely told, subscribe to the channel and join me on the next journeys.